For critique number 2, I chose an article called Web 2.0 Matters, an analysis of implementing Web 2.0 in the classroom. Summary of my article. The students from 3 northeastern colleges were surveyed, and they were surveyed taking classes without Web 2.0 tools being implemented into the instruction, and they were surveyed after taking classes with Web 2.0 tools implemented into the instruction. The students were required to take an introductory information systems course, but didn't really have to have any technology background. They did have to own their own laptop as well as bring it with them to class every day, but that was the only major rule they had to follow. They were basically trying to figure out, do Web 2.0 tools have any impact on learning? Well, throughout the article, we learned that, I learned that students are very active learners, and it made a point to reference, students are watching TV and they get bored with the television show they're watching. They're just going to flip channels until they find something that keeps their interest, that really engages them. And that's the same with learning, I believe. And, they're going to want to, so to speak, change the channel when the learning doesn't interest them. The actual content might not be interesting to them, but if it's presented in an interesting and engaging manner, then I think students are more prone to pay attention. The reoccurring problem that I noticed throughout the article is there's still again a lack of knowledge from the teachers on actually how to use these tools. Some of the strengths. It was updated learning. Learning wasn't just chalkboards and paper and pencil. It was, throwing out blogs and wikis and RSS feeds and all kinds of things. That even mentioned Second Life and social networking systems such as Facebook and MySpace, instant messaging. It was active learning. They were involved, constantly moving and getting into it, and always having to check the wiki and the blogs. And of course, Facebook, we always got to be on Facebook and checking out, who commented on this picture and that sort of stuff. It did note that it was, quote unquote, easier for young adults to learn because they're growing up in this technologically advanced day and age, and so they're being born into this as opposed to this is something brand new and they're having to learn it. It's, the younger adults have always seen this sort of thing. Web 2.0 does matter. That was one of the strengths and results from this is Web 2.0 tools do matter. They really do have an impact on learning. And the skills that were judged, they were judged important. They were important skills that needed to be learned. Some of the weaknesses, there's again the lack of knowledge from the teachers trying to implement the instruction, and the quote-unquote the older adults had a harder time adjusting because they had to actually learn this new tool, and it was something they were clearly not familiar with, and so it took a little bit longer. There was no real research question stated. There was just hypotheses, which is fine. The hypotheses were very detailed. They were created from a list of questions that were asked to the students. However, I wish that it had actually listed some of the questions that they had asked, just to kind of give myself and any other readers a general idea.